Here we are again. This time though, I've got my gimbal working. I thought yesterday that it had run out of power, but it hadn't. Sometimes it just doesn't come on. I think I'd done something to it in the early days that knackered the motor in it or something, so it didn't work. But anyway, yeah, so yesterday I went for a walk around Wig Island in Runcorn, and like the title of the video was, is Runcorn just a grim northern town, or is it really that bad? And I've had a few, it's had quite a, not, I mean, for my videos in the early days, in the early like hours after posting it, it's had a few views, not as many as some of the others, like I'm talking like 40 or 50, but a few people have been in touch because I shared it on Facebook and stuff, commenting saying, you didn't actually say whether you think Runcorn is grim or not, but I thought that's the idea, is to let you guys decide that. Let me just shove this up a little bit. Get that. I don't really know what I'm doing with this, as you can probably tell. Just let me tilt it this way. No, the other way, Colin. There we go. Now I'm in the middle. Yeah, so I didn't actually say whether I thought it was grim or not, but I thought maybe, you know, the sights that you could see walking through that, you know, the lovely wooded area. Who can forget the big field I showed you? That was kind of showing that it isn't. I don't think it's grim at all. Don't have to stop people who think that. And don't get me wrong, like everywhere in the country and in the world, it's got its good and bad bits. But the bit I particularly live in, on the front here, on the deck, you just see them behind me. It's pretty nice, and within a few minutes walk, you've got lovely greenery. Only 5 minutes that way. You can get along the Ship Canal and all of that. Just up the other way, which I don't think we'll go that far in this one, because I'm only popped out to get some salt from the co-op. You've got the Bridgewater Canal and the Brindley Theatre is on the banks of that. You get loads of canal boats on there. But yeah, today I'm walking around the other way. I just thought I'd show you I could spin around with this. Yeah, we're going to walk along. The Manchester Ship Canal is just down that away, so we're going to walk along there. And I mentioned, I mentioned the transporter bridge in the video yesterday. So we're going to go to the site where that used to take off from. Sometimes you get kids down there, young bulls there sniffing crack. So if there's no one down there, we'll go down and have a look. If there is, then I won't, because, you know, I'm just getting used to all this YouTubing lark and talking in public into my camera. And it's a bit odd, isn't it? Anyway, we are just coming up now to the Runcorn Bridge. I'm going to see if I can spin you around. Again, I'm getting used to using this. So let me see if I can. No, I can't spin you that way. Can I get you that away to see the bridge? There you go. No idea what you're seeing there. But hopefully you can see the Runcorn Witness Bridge. Not going to lie, spinning around the wrong way there. Here we go. Look at that for camera work. Steven Spielberg must be cacking his kecks. But yeah, there's a load of pigeons down here. You do get a lot of birds down here. And I don't mean like the ones in the 70s in Carry On films. I mean the actual avian, whatever you call them. I meant aviary. A bit like my name. And you get a lot of bird muck, which my mum always used to complain about. My mum used to come down here with a friend for a little walk, sit on these little benches here, and then have a cup of tea or whatever, and complain about the goose muck. When you think they do something about it, well, the geese aren't going to do anything, are they? So yeah, just walking along, there's a ship canal just there. You can actually do, believe it or not, a pleasure cruise along the Manchester Ship Canal. You go from one end to the other. You go from Liverpool to Manchester. It goes to Salford, I think, and then the other way around, and you get a buzz back. And I like to wave at people as they go past naked. No, I don't. Imagine that. Oh my God, they'll be throwing themselves overboard. Yeah, because it is really nice. Again, I mentioned it yesterday that Runcorn gets a bad rep from people, largely residents of Runcorn, saying, you know, it's a bit of a I can't even spell it, SHIT hole. It's a dump, you know, there's nothing to do. and all of that. But I guess I don't know if that's exclusive to Runcorn. If you live in like a small town like this, just pop in the comments if people say the same thing about where you live. I don't know, it might just be everywhere. People just tend to put it down. But what I say is, you know, if it's that bad where you live, then, you know, you could always just go somewhere else. But, you know, what am I to tell people what to, who am I, sorry, to tell people what to do? So we're just at the Mersey estuary here now, local wildlife site. The estuary is 26 kilometres long. The River Mersey forms at the confluence of the River Tame with the River Goyt in Stockport. And Mersey originates from the Old English word mer, meaning boundary. In case you're thinking, wow, Colin's got loads of local knowledge. Oh God, that's just gone pear-shaped. I was just reading that about the Mersey estuary. In here you can see Atlantic salmon, golden plover, redshank and teal. That sounds like a lineup for Battle of the Bands, doesn't it? Coming up next, redshank, followed by Atlantic salmon. That was Atlantic salmon there with Titanic. And over here, well, just to let you know some more facts that I've just randomly got stored in my brain. The railway bridge, which is just behind me over there in the distance, just on the other side of the Jubilee Bridge, as it's called. That was built, it took from 1863 to 1868. It was the first bridge to be built between Runcorn and Widnes, designed by William Baker and built by the London and North West Railway. Just knew that off the top of my head. And the Silver Jubilee Bridge, I mentioned yesterday actually, I think it was opened in the 60s. It was actually built, opened in 1961 after a 5-year construction. So yeah, just know these things. And the old Transporter Bridge, which is no longer there, that was constructed between 1901 and 1905, because by the 1890s it was clear that a new bridge for road traffic was necessary. It's amazing what I've got stored in my head, and I wasn't just reading off that thing there. So it looks like we're pretty clear down for the site of the old Transporter Bridge. But you see what I mean when people saying like Runcorn's a bit of a dump? It clearly isn't. You know, as I said, there are parts that could do with a bit of attention, to put it politely or put it mildly. But this particular bit is all right, apart from the goose muck when my mum's down here. There's a church there. No idea what it's called. Local knowledge again. But my mate Walsey got married in there, so that's a bit of history that I do know. And it chucked it down with rain, which we all thought could be a metaphor for his marriage. But 23 years later and 3 kids, they're still going strong. So, you know, what does the rain know? Not the rain. That's a bridge. So just walking down now to the site of the old Transporter Bridge. Might cut this bit out because I've literally got nothing to say. Anyway, to Wednesday, whatever for your tea. I'm having pork ribs. I just marinated them then before we came out, because you might have seen in some of my other videos, especially my earlier ones, which were pretty poor quality. You might argue that these ones still are. But yeah, I didn't really know how to film properly and stuff like that. Let me see if I can just change that so it just sticks with me. Point of view. There we go. Is that better? Maybe, maybe not. No, it's just going on an angle now. Follow me everywhere, look. There we go. Yeah, I do like to cook. Now it's going to get pretty windy down here, and now although I've got my gimbal, I didn't bring the microphone, so the sound might get a bit ropey, but I'm going to talk over it. There's something down there. I knew there'd be hoodlums down here. There's 2 down there playing. Okay, there's a memorial to somebody over there. Wife, I think that says. Okay, fair dues. See it just in the background there, Runcorn Windows Bridge. So this is the site of the old Transporter Bridge. Oh, again, I'm not the best with this thing, am I? Just on the other side, just over there, you can just about see the pub. That's a pub called the Snig. So the Transporter Bridge used to run from here, so cars would come down this road here, queue up here. I don't know how many they could take over at a time. Maybe I should have read a little bit more of that stuff up there. But you go over the other side to Widnes and it would bring people back. And on the other side, there's a pub there called, it's called the Mersey Hotel, but it's nicknamed the Snig. But the office, I think, or like the toll booth for the Transporter Bridge, was just on the other side there. And out over in the distance, which you probably can't see, is the Catalyst Museum. I was thinking that converter you used to put in your car in the 80s. Is a catalytic, I'm doing it again, the Catalyst Museum, which is all about the history of chemicals in Widnes. There are still a lot of chemicals in Widnes and Runcorn, but mostly in the toilets, hey? Am I right? Then what does this do? Oh, nothing. Right, I'm going to turn that follow thing off because it's doing me head in. Might stay still if I do that. So that was a little bit more of, was it history? I don't know what it was. A bit more content, I guess. So that was a walk down the opposite way. So when I went out in the video yesterday, I went to that side of the apartments where I live. This time we're going over the other side and we're going to walk under the bridge, under the railway bridge. And then I think I'll call it a day there because it's 7:15 and I want me tea. So I'm going to head to the co-op, get some salt. You must be thinking, what? If you're still watching this, you must be thinking, why am I watching this? But you know, it's just nice, wholesome content, isn't it? Just to see a nice man in his 50s walking along a path. Who'd have thought that would be content in this day and age, eh? When the likes of the two Ronnies are knocking about, making up all those really cleverly worded sketches and getting 22 million viewers for the Christmas specials, who'd have thought that 50 years later you can get a gimbal and walk along a path under a bridge in Runcorn and people will watch it. Obviously not 21 million people, but people will watch it. I love it. I may have said this on previous vids. I watch YouTube now more than pretty much I watch television. Because it's great. It's just, you know, regular people living their regular lives and just giving you a bit of an insight and being dead sound. And that is the bandwagon. But I want to jump on to see 4 magpies here. One, actually, so I don't know about yourself, but when I see magpies, I always do the 1 for sorrow, 2 for joy, 3 for a girl and all of that. If I see one magpie, I get somebody else to look at it and that breaks the curse, or I say good morning your lordship and how's your ladyship. However, I know it's 1 for sorrow, 2 for joy, 3 for a girl, 4 for a boy, 5 for silver, 6 for gold, 7 for a secret never to be told. But past number 8, I've got no idea. So if you do know, then pop that in the comment section below, because I'm dying to know. I always struggle when I get past 7. Not that I see more than 7 magpies. Anyway, not really that's affecting my life in any way, shape or form, but you know, just like to know. So anyway, there's the bridge. We're just in the foothills. Probably not the right expression, but we're just in the shadows, I would say, in between both bridges. So you've got the railway bridge there, the Jubilee Bridge. Oh, look at that, I figured it out. The Jubilee Bridge there. So that is the line when I go to Liverpool, which is fairly regularly and will be this Saturday. That's that you go that away to the west to get to Liverpool, and you go that way towards Chester and Wales and all of that. So one of the things they do say about Runcorn is it's really good to leave and really easy to leave because it's got good transport links. But again, that's for another story. So in brief, coming back to what I said before, people said I didn't say whether I thought Runcorn was grim or not. Hopefully these 2 videos have shown you that I don't think that it is. There's certainly worse places to live. There's better places to live. Spain for one, because it's hotter. But you know, it's got its plus points. It's got its negatives, as everywhere has. But for me, it's a pretty decent place to live, and I'm glad to live here. And the way I see it is, if you live somewhere, again, I said before, if you don't like it, then you know you can leave if you want to, or necessarily, maybe, or try and do something to make it a little bit of a better place. Which is what I do by running comedy nights and trying to promote stuff that goes on in the area, because you know, if you live here, you might as well make the most of it, right? That's the way I see it. So if you've made it to the end of this video, God bless you. Please consider subscribing to the channel. I've got 150 subscribers at the moment, which isn't a lot, but I started off with 8, and that was in January, and it's really grown over the last month or so. So it's basically just me showing you my comedy nights, going on holiday, weekends or nights away with Jen, and just living life like a lot of other YouTubers, but you know, hopefully entertaining you and educating you on the way. I might see more boards like that I can recite and pretend that I knew it all along. Actually, before we go, yeah, I'm going to show you my local society where I have one of my many amazing comedy nights. So it is just over in the distance up there. We'll go up that way now. So yeah, please consider subscribing. I've done about 30 or 40 videos now. I'm doing them quite regularly, and people say, you know, the YouTubers say it takes you about 100 to find your feet and get good at them. I think they're getting better as they go along. People may disagree, but then it's up to them, innit? Anyway, just over. Oh, I was just having to say that. But you know, my videos are getting better. Maybe my gimbal usage isn't. But over there, that green and orange building is Society Tap Rooms Limited, Runcorn, my local, and the site of possibly my best gig. It's amazing in there. It's not the smallest one. The smallest one's the Gothorpe, but it's definitely the room is perfect for comedy. We have like a 90-seater room. We had Paul Sinner in there at the weekend. If you go back and have a look at a video from the other day, we had Paul Sinner from The Chase in that room, and it was so good. But yeah, and just along here actually, so these are the pillars to the flyover onto the bridge as part of like a reconnecting Runcorn scheme. They've hired some artists to come in and put murals like all to do with the history of Runcorn, so yeah, I can come down and read them to you instead of brushing up myself. Yeah, so that's going to look pretty epic, I rex. Hope you'd agree. Anyway, yeah, please subscribe to the channel, give it a like, pop a comment on, and I'll see you on the next one. Ta-ra!